Hello. Hi, Ronald. So
Okay.
I'm with Ronald, everybody, on just a short, very, not even 3, 4, 5 minute update. We're not getting into whole what cloud is all about. I just want to ask him a couple of specific questions to share with you guys. A lot of you were reaching out to me. Thanks for coming on, Ronald.
Okay.
It's pretty nice to have the number one guy in cloud that's you're able to connect with at such a personal level, and I'm pretty privileged to have that and to be able to represent all of you. So, first question is: Jarvis has been limited to $50,000 per account, right?
Not per account, but per crypto type.
Oh, it's 50,000 per crypto type. So you mean on the
Yeah.
same account, somebody could put 50,000 of Litecoin, 50,000 of Ethereum, and 50,000
Yes.
of Bitcoin?
Yep.
Oh, wow, that changes everything. Okay, thank you. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, the Jarvis itself, we all know that there's a limit on Jarvis because after a certain point, you cannot make it rent sustainable. It won't give enough money. You can't have too much volume, or I don't know how it works. I'm not very technical. I'm more a salesman and a public speaker. But
Mhm.
I just want to reassure folks that, first of all, Jarvis is good till August, if I understand right.
Okay, what happens is this, right? There is a limit that is calculated by the actuary that would safely give a sustainable return back to the user, the members. So the issue with the limit is because the actuary told us that, hey, if I collect more than what I should have collected, there might be a risk, okay, of not being able to live up to the 6% minimum. So we have actually implemented a limit on how many participations or assets that we can take in terms of USDT value. So at the moment itself, we are nearly there. And in August, we will be doing two things. The first thing that we'll be doing is we are separating the whales and the normal users. The whales are anyone who has an investment or the asset which is over 5 million. We are actually going to introduce them the Friday project. So the Friday project itself would not earn them any CTOs, but it will actually trade in their own exchange. For example, they were to withdraw all this 5 million and put it up into their own exchange. Friday, as a AI trading robot itself, would trade for them on their own exchange. Okay. Now, how it will work is Friday itself is contractual based. So, for example, if you were to sign him up for, let's say, 3 months, it will cost you a certain number of bitcoins. And this Bitcoin is actually directly injected into the reserve pool that will benefit all the rest of the members. Okay, because we're not giving any CTOs out. Okay, we are removing 5 million CTO circulation in the pool, which will get us a good number of price increase.
Okay. So you understand, everybody, carefully means that there's already a plan already in place. Is this already being done now, or something that's going to be done? The
Oh,
way,
step by step. Yeah.
okay, it's being done
Right.
step by step. So there's already a step by step process to eliminate the whales, that those who have a lot of money, with, and also putting that money into the reserve funds, just like we talked to you about the money from the other. There's a couple of ways that we spoke to you on our live update today, where all that money is being put in the reserve pool. So means that the CTO price will go even higher, faster than what we saw it so far, where we just have it going up one way. So
Yeah. So if more Veils comes out of the project, okay, you will see significantly lower CTO in circulation when there's so little circulation. And there are a fixed amount of asset coming back in order to beef up the reserve pool asset, then you will see the price increase.
and by doing that means that you're going to extend the life of Jarvis because you're taking out these whales.
Yes, of course. That's why we actually implemented the 50,000 asset limit, so that we can actually really help the mid low class members, lower tier members, so that they can actually have a sustainable income that they can use using our platform.
So basically, once all that is done, August comes, is there another software that people are going to be able to join after Jarvis is full?
It's the same application itself, the same wallet, okay, but in the project area, you'll be able to see more projects popping up, okay? So the first one will be Jarvis, second one will be Friday, as I said, then there will be a few more coming up soon. And one of it will be, a really cool long, mid-term, short midterm project, which is exactly like Jarvis, but instead of Jarvis being able to let you go in and out anytime you want, this has a fixed time. For example, 3 months.
Yeah,
or
you have
6
to,
months.
like some other projects where you have to put your money for a certain time, for a certain time, you have to lock it in. So basically, it means that this is business as usual. I mean, for those who are trying to understand all of this, whether they join now and they sign up people in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months from now, it's business as usual. I mean,
Yeah.
right? You're just finding other solutions to continue.
Yep.
So from the house and from Luigi, we want to just reach out to everybody and say the timing right now is just awesome. I mean, coming back from the leadership call and everything we've learned. By the way, the app is functioning a lot better, honestly. I mean, everything is super fast. And when you go to withdrawals, they're instant. When you go to fund the account, super fast. The project too. Couple of small issues are being taken care of, but it seems to be all on a certain day, like 2-3 days. There was a glitch where everything was going in. It didn't really happen since then there, but
yeah, you must understand the couple of weeks was really crazy with the bad news that's floating around with other projects closing down and exchanges closing down. It actually had a heavy toll on our project itself, where a lot of members are actually withdrawing to test whether our system is still functioning or not. I think it really helps to be transparent to the members as we show them basically what we have and what we are trading and things like that. That really helped a lot. I think one of the cool things that this project is different, that we really show you what we have. And also, when they withdraw out, they actually come back in again. So that's the cool thing. And one of the other things that we really saw that is happening is a lot of these Chinese big whales. They actually withdrew their BDC and they came back in with a lot of USDT. I think probably it's more stable that way. Looking at how the situation is with the market, there are a lot of unknown sources dumping the price up and down. It's floating everywhere. So we're seeing a lot of them coming back now. So the situation is quite healthy for us. As you know that now the system is a bit smoother. It's because less withdrawals already. There's less backlog that is happening. Of course, we also added in a lot of other servers in Azure, which somehow is performing better than Amazon Web Services.
no, seriously, it's going better than before, Ronald. Everything seems to be. I don't know if it was supposed to be like that, but it's really. I hope it stays like that. Everything's going perfectly now.
One up for Microsoft.
Hey, listen, everybody. I mean, please. I mean, this is technology, and you know, when you start a project, you know, what I would like to everybody to understand is when you start a project like this, there is not a blueprint. You know, that you can't just open up your store and go and okay, this is how we build this kind of ecosystem, this wallet. There's so much moving parts to it because there's even third parties. You know, meaning that Cloud Token has to do business with other sources to be able to do something on this massive scale. So sometimes the parties or the different companies or different softwares do not interact well together. So that's where they have to come in and fix a whole bunch of things. Sometimes there's a glitch in the system and it can take one of the engineers like 10 to 15 hours just to go through all the data to be able to find that little code that's somewhere lost in thousands and billions of little nodes somewhere. And that's how technically it is difficult to do something like they're doing right now. And whether it's cloud or whether it's any other wallet, they all went through the same issues. So the question is, we've been in business for 1 month. I mean, hey, this is not an old company. We officially launched on May 12th. So I think it's just normal that for a month or two, we can all be patient a little bit and just give them a little bit of time. Actually, right now, everything is perfect right now. Hey, if something happens again in a week or two, you're missing a day or two or three, you don't have to message me right away, because you know that every time they're missing 1, 2, 3 days, they always catch up. They always do. So next time we're missing 2, 3 days, let's wait at least 4 or 5 days a week. And if they catch up, you don't even have to bother. If they don't catch up after a week, of course you call me. Then I send a message. But before that, you don't have to worry. As for the performance, we saw it go away, come back, go away, and come back. Because every time they're missing 2, 3 days, they had to go manually pay everything. Once they went down to the bottom of the list, then they reset the performance. It happened again, missing 2, 3 days. They took the performance down. They had to manually enter it, reset the performance. It happened twice. Will it happen another time, or are we past that point? So maybe if everybody knows it can happen again.
The reason why was that in previous implementations, we are actually calculating manually 24 hours for each individual. That loan itself actually put a big toll on the number of servers that is needed. And the servers did not actually catch up to do all the calculations. What we did now was we actually fixed on 2 points. Once is at 12 o'clock in the morning. The other, 0000. The other one is actually at about 12. So it's 12 hours apart to actually do 2 calculations. So the payouts only at 2 different times. Those are GMT +8 and UTC +0 timings. So you will get the payouts in 2 different sections, but you should not miss anymore. That is what we are seeing at this moment, but only for previous members. Some as way back as the 20th that you have missed. Please do let us know, and we will actually patch it up for you so that everything will be smooth for you from then on.
So everybody that's still missing something from a while ago, meaning from a couple of weeks ago and a month ago or whatever, please get back to me. Send me your 16-digit number, nice explanation. Don't send me a whole bunch of screenshots, and please give me a detailed description, because that's the way I have to send it to corporate. Your 16-digit number, what's the problem? You're missing something, put the dates, or what happened? You put money in Jarvis, the money disappeared from Jarvis, and okay, write the explanation, send it to me nicely explained. I will forward it to corporate, and we'll get past whatever. There's not that many. I told you it's a small percentage, okay? But we'll get all that done. And as of right now, he just said that he thinks it's all okay, it's all perfect. Now, when it comes from a technical guy, you have to remember that these guys are so smart, but they always do a miscalculation of time. So when they tell you it's going to be ready in 2 days, always add about 25 to 30% on what they're telling you, because it takes at least 3 days. If they say 4 days, you take about 6 days, and that's okay. It's not just Ronald. They're all like that, okay? I've been in previous companies. Now, what he's telling us now is that everything should be perfect. So, hey, if everything is perfect right now, hats off. But even if it was not perfect right now, that it happens one more time, we know now that what happens, it's okay, okay? Just let them catch up and do their work. I mean, they've been working very hard behind the scenes. Ronald is as transparent as you can get in a CEO, CTO especially. He's not really a CEO, sorry, he's the CTO of our company. But he is very transparent. I went personally to dinner with him, with Faye, Justin, and that was a privilege, not to be sitting again right next with the greatest of all time, in our industry. Which many other wallets would have loved to have too, trust me. Listen, everybody, do your own diligence. And if you're watching this for the first time in the group, get back to the person who's been sharing cloud with you to get started. Ronald, thanks a lot. I think that's all I wanted to really grasp on, because everything else, all the updates, we shared it with the community. There's some awesome things coming around. I think August is the August or beginning of September. We're not sure yet when. We're going to have a big celebration event, right? That's when everything comes together, when the e-commerce platform or the travel portal with the credit card, debit card, I think that all these moving parts are coming together sometime August, beginning of September. Am I right?
Yeah. The KYC process would probably come in a bit earlier on, sometime mid or the 3rd week of this month, to actually be ahead of the application for the cards. So the KYC, just wait for the KYC things to come up sometime on the third week or so, which will enable you to actually register for the card itself, and that itself will give you a particular ticket, okay, to actually join the event itself. We have only 10,000 cards, so yeah. If you are
the cards, pretty soon we're going to have a little announcement on our app telling us, okay, we released 10,000 cards, right?
Yep.
Now, 10,000 cards are going to be released, so it's first come, first serve on the app. Now,
no, C2 and above first.
C2 and above, C2 and above. So that means if you're anything C2 and above, you can apply for the card, but it's first come, first serve, 10,000, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, does that mean all the other people will have it like second phase in November or something like that?
We want to test with the C2s and C3s because you have the most CTOs to actually test this out. Once we have confirmed that the non-charging model is sustainable, then we'll move on to the C1s to see whether it's still sustainable or not for non-charging, no fee. All right. If it's not, then we will see what is the lowest fee we can go up for in order to make this to be a sustainable platform.
Okay, so it's important for everybody to understand. Like, it's not that. So I mean, there's a process here that they can't, even if they wanted to, they can't just come out and give it to everybody in the community. That's not how it works. They have to test it. So they're going to test it on the C2s and above because they are the people that have the most CTOs to actually see if the model that they created will be sustainable and will be, affordable, profitable. Once that's determined, they'll be coming down to C1 and see if it's still profitable. And from there, they're going to decide what else they can do to make the fees or how it should be to make it affordable. Does it mean that everybody will have it one day, or it'll always be like C1s and above?
The C0s, there's no point giving them the card because they are probably, you don't have much CTOs to play with anyway.
Okay, thank you. So,
yeah.
Listen carefully now to this, okay? So why?
Yeah, the thing is, if you are C0 to C1, the number of CTOs you have, it's under 1,000. So when it's under 1,000, you're talking about less than $100 or so to actually put into the card. There's not much you can do with it, and it costs us money to actually to produce the card itself. All right. The thing that is different from this card and the rest of the prepaid cards that you've ever seen with other projects is they never pre-fund their cards, but we have to pre-fund our cards. This is one of the criteria from MasterCard to us so that our cards won't get shut down.
So we have, as individuals, we have to pre-fund our cards with a certain amount each person.
No, the company does it for you already. So when you actually change your CTO into US dollars, the company is actually taking back your CTO.
Okay.
And enabling the limit back on your card itself. The card is already pre-funded with US dollars, but you are just not enabled to use it.
Okay. So I think that answers a lot of you who were asking me. When is the card coming out? Is everybody going to have access? So we just found out now that it's going to be C2s and above. And pretty soon, he's also going to be adding the C1s. And under C1 and C0, without being impolite here, it's just that it's not really worth it to start giving cards to everybody because the amount of CTOs or money that you're playing with is so small that it's not even worth doing it. Okay, and it makes sense now that you hear it. It makes sense. So what does it mean? It means that hurry up and get to C1. I mean, that's not too hard. You just have to talk about it to everybody.
C1 is passive. Only C2 you have to do a bit of stuff.
C2 starts being a little bit harder, I agree, and C3 a little bit harder, but it's normal because if it was easy, everybody would become C5s. So C5 is pretty interesting. You get to become a shareholder. I was hearing the other day.
Yeah, the thing is about C5s are you are entitled to actually become part of a voting right director. So you're a shareholder as well. You have voting rights. You can actually say what goes in the system and things like that. Yeah.
So who wants to be a C5, everybody? Okay, that's for sure. Hey, I want you to just say a word to my friends in Singapore and in Asia because I've been, and now I did Bangkok 1 month ago. I did Malaysia this month for the leadership call. While I was in Malaysia, I had a very good friend of mine from my team who made me do some presentations in Malaysia. I did one with Ronald where Ronald came saying hi to everybody, and I also did 2 others alone in Malaysia. Then after that, they brought me to Singapore to visit Singapore for a day or 2, but they made me work all day. I did presentations all day. Ronald, it was really funny. So now we're doing an event on 26th of July for our team in Singapore. It's a team event. Okay, this is not a cloud event because everybody has teams and everybody does that team event, and it's not easy to organize. So I'll be there on the 26th of July with Ronald for the first time. Be able to share a stage with Ronald is going to be a privilege. I'm going to record it and put that in my souvenirs for the rest of my life. And who knows, it might not even be the last one. He might like doing events with me, and he'll ask me to come on some of his after. So everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. Everything is healthy. The app is going strong. Pretty much the bugs are starting to be cleaned out. I remember when we had supper the other day, you said maybe another 3 weeks there, but it seems to be okay already the way I'm looking at it now. So
no, the thing is, these are just the temporary fix that we're putting in. The actual fixes will come in before August. The teams are actually working hard on it. And yeah, more good stuff would come. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, take 2. I'll see you on the next video, everybody.